the week goes so quickly and I've got so much stuff to do. I was thinking, getting older, maybe then I start relaxing and the children are big. No, definitely it's not like that, is it? Because then you get the children and the children work. And so, can you do me a favor? Can you do that for me? Could do you mind? The dog, this, and it's madness, real madness, but it's my way of keeping Alzheimer at bay. If you keep something at bay, the expression, you keep it away, you keep it far away, under control. Okay, and so it's my way to keep everything under control. So I hope you had a nice week. Yeah, it does keep me young. Really, I'm trying my best. Okay, and first of all, I don't know whether there are new students, because for the first lessons usually there might be new students. If there are, I'll write towards the end of the lesson. I'll write my email address so you can start sending me stuff. This evening, if you feel like it, we can have a little bit of gossip. Just every so often, I think you need it in a foreign language. It's in Italy. Everything is about Garlasco. It doesn't matter about Putin, the war, Mr. Trump. Those are not important, but Garlasco is very important. And in England, you got the royals. And do you think the royals? Do you approve of the royals, the royal family? Do you like the idea? Andrew, I know Andrew is a bit of an idiot. Well, the good thing about the royal family is that they bring in a lot of money. I mean, imagine all the tourism, people going, the firm, exactly, it's a business. Queen Elizabeth used to call it the firm because it is. It's a business, and they run it, and they've been running it for quite a long time. You didn't, Ferrari. Did you manage to read Harry's book? Well, Harry's book is a big word because I don't think Harry can write too well. So he had someone writing it for him. Despair. Do you know why despair? Do you know what despair is? If, for example, you go to your garage, not so much left exactly, Roberto. You go to your garage because the car is not working, maybe because you might need some spare parts. Pezzi di ricambio. Something, for example, if I say to you, have you got a minute to spare? Means have you got some extra minute which you don't need and you don't use to give me? What do you do in your spare time? Your spare time is the time you are free and you've got basically nothing to do. So spare is something extra. The air and the spare, apart from being a rhyme, is the air is William, and the spare, just in case something happens to William, there's the other one. It's the second one in line. Okay, and Harry. In my opinion, again, I don't know them, but I don't think there is very much going on between his ears. Do you know the expression? You've got 2 years. If there is nothing going on in between, because that your brain is nothing fantastic. There is a draft, una corrente tra le orecchie. So there is an expression to say that someone is not particularly clever or intelligent. Spare change, yes, Pasquale, yeah. Yeah, I prefer William and Kate again. I don't know. But Andrew's always been, Andrew was Queen Elizabeth's favorite child. Mm. The man is very controversial. He must be a horrible man, and he must be a snob, a real snob. Apparently, he's got. I read some interviews with his former bodyguards. Now, everybody, of course, is giving interviews quite rightly. And someone was saying that he has a room where he collects all his teddy bears. Do you know what teddy bears are? Teddy bears. Yes. And there is nothing wrong collecting teddy bears, but the problem is that if the person in charge of this room makes a mistake while cleaning or tidying up the teddy bears, the man goes crazy and can be extremely offensive with the people who work for him. And so that's not very nice. Well, what I got this evening, of course, I'm going to share my screen. You know that there's been something going on about Andrew and his friendship with Epstein. Epstein is a sex offender. And they used to be friends. Andrew invited him and his partner to the palace, gave them a lovely weekend and settled. So they were real friends. But of course, now being a friend of a sex offender who apparently committed suicide in jail is not very good, especially for a royal. Pedophile stories, yes. So all this, it's mounted up because then one of the girls who were sort of trafficked by Epstein accused directly Andrew of sex abuse, wanted to take him to court, and they had a private settlement. You know, if you settle something, a private settlement means that I'll give you whatever money you want, you keep your mouth shut and you stop bothering me. That's a private settlement. An arrangement, yes, very good, Mario. Some people say it was 12 million, which the poor woman then committed suicide. It's a tragic story. And now, before committing suicide and dying, this woman wrote a book, and the book apparently is either coming out or it has just come out. I can't remember. And I think the royal family, at the moment, Andrew is a royal embarrassment. And so they had to do something. And so they stripped him. If you strip something, for example, you have wallpaper on the walls. If you strip it and strip tease, you take something off. Okay, so it was stripped of his titles. So at the moment, Andrew is not Prince Andrew, but is Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He's not a prince. And the thing we are watching this evening, then I'll send you, if you want, I'll send you the link to the whole interview. This interview was, I think it was 2019, when the trial, this court case was, they were deciding whether, upon the private settlement, Prince Andrew decided to go public and give this interview to this very, very good journalist, BBC journalist, Emily Matlis. She's really good. And the daughters, I think they're keeping their titles. I don't know about, I think the daughters and even the wife, they might be keeping the titles. It's just him. But anyways, divorced as well. Still living with his wife, but divorced. It's a kind of, they get on nicely together. I think they need each other. So this interview was, of course, Andrew thought, well, okay, this is me. I am the most fantastic person in the world, because he must be, his ego, I think, is very big. And I'll give this interview and then everybody will shut up. And the interview had the opposite effect, because the way he behaved, watch the whole interview. It's good for your English. The accent, okay, Andrew's accent is not as posh, as sort of as royal probably as King Charles, but still extremely kind of, I'm rich, and I'm rich and powerful accent. You know that in English you can judge people by their accent. And so that's his accent. And it's very clear to understand, and is really entertaining. And there are bits which are really laughable, because you think, oh, this guy is such an idiot. Keep your mouth shut. So this evening we're just watching some extract, 2 or 3, the most famous ones. Okay, I'm going to share. Excuse me. Nothing between the ears. Nothing goes on. Yes, or nothing. There is nothing between the ears, or nothing goes on in between. Because you see, these two, in between your ears, there is your brain. If nothing is on, then I'll give you the. I'll take a note and I'll give you the meaning, but it means basically that you are dense and a bit stupid. Okay, this is the meaning of nothing between the ears. Okay, right, I'm going to share. Okay. Right. Hide. Now, this is my password. Oh, wait, I'll close the password. This and okay. All right. I just move you out a bit so I can see you. Okay. You see, what can you see it properly? Okay, I'll make it slightly bigger. Okay. Okay, good. Right. This is what I've told you up to now about the 2019 interview. She's very clever. She's a very clever woman. If you try to appreciate the way she's sort of exploiting the fact that the guy is such an idiot and is walking into the trap, you know, both feet basically, and she's very calm, she's very composed, but the questions are very, very good. Okay, and then I put the sort of introduction and the recent development, which is what I was telling you about King Charles. You see, stripped Andrew of his remaining royal title. Okay. Apparently, he also lost his little house, 30-room Royal Lodge residence in Windsor. That's gone. And basically he moved somewhere else, to a smaller place, but you know, I wouldn't say no to the smaller place. Apparently it's very, very, very nice, and Big Brother is paying for it, so I wouldn't complain too much. Okay, we can watch the interview. Pay attention, because then I'll ask you some questions, and some questions on vocabulary, and some questions on the video itself. Okay. Okay. The interview was described as a car crash. Okay. And then you tell me what you understand if something, someone describes an event to you and calls the event, oh, it was like a car crash. Okay. It's not good news anyway. So I'm going to, okay, these are just some extracts.
You threw a birthday party.
Okay, just tell me whether it's loud enough. Is it, can you hear it properly? Yeah, good.
Not really.
Well, I'll turn it up a little. Okay.
Am I right in thinking you threw a birthday party for Epstein's girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, at Sandringham?
No, it was a shooting weekend.
A shooting weekend.
Just a straightforward shooting weekend.
But during these times that he was a guest at Windsor Castle at Sandringham, the shooting weekend.
Yep, yeah.
You see, she's being humorous without showing it too much, because of course you see that he corrects her, the shooting weekend. Then we will see what the shooting weekend is.
Shooting weekend.
Just a straightforward shooting weekend.
But during these times that he was a guest at Windsor Castle at Sandringham, the shooting weekend,
Yep, yeah.
We now know that he was and had been procuring young girls for sex trafficking.
We now know that. At the time, there was no indication to me or anybody else that that was what he was doing.
For the record, is there any way you...
Antonella, you don't say that. Shooting. Maybe it was, but that's a very heavy word. Maybe you can call it bloody weekend. Bloody is kind of unfortunately the word, that word is very heavy in English. You know, it's very French. You say, pardon my French. You know, I think it's the same in Italian when you say francesismo. when you use a bad word, and it is the same in English. Okay, how do you find them? Do you find them difficult to understand? Easy to understand? Yeah, easy. Easy because they are slow. Difficult. Who finds it difficult? Vincent. Well, if you used to, for example, an American accent, you might find the British accent, of course, more difficult to understand. Depends what you used to, basically. But they're not bad. He's quite clear. The journalist is slow. At least they do not speak too fast. Okay.
Procuring young girls for sex trafficking.
We now know that. At the time, there was no indication to me or anybody else that that was what he was doing.
For the record, is there any way you could have had sex with that young woman or any young woman trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein in any of his residences?
No. And without putting too fine a point on it, if you're a man, it is a positive act to have sex with somebody. You have to take some sort of positive action. And so therefore, if you try to forget, it's very difficult to try and forget positive action. And I do not remember anything.
Okay, then we will go over where it says, straightforward, we can, to find a point. There is some grammar explanation behind that, so I'll go back to it. Okay, the next bit is quite funny.
You have to take some sort of positive action. And so therefore, if you try to forget, it's very difficult to try and forget positive action. And I do not remember anything. I was at home. I was with the children. I'd taken Beatrice to a Pizza Express in Woking for a party at I suppose sort of 4 or 5 in the afternoon.
Why would you remember that so specifically? Why would you remember a Pizza Express birthday and being at home?
Because going to Pizza Express in Woking is an unusual thing for me to do.
You see that when people... he is embarrassing, isn't he? And when he says that it's not something I normally do going to a Pizza Express, is because he's a snob. Woking is a town, if you look at London, is outside London, something like 40 kilometers from London, on the west side, southwest of London. Okay, so they went there for a pizza. Yeah, there are extracts. He tries, of course, he's denying the whole thing.
Because going to Pizza Express in Woking is an unusual thing for me to do.
So you're absolutely sure that you're at home on the 10th of March?
Yeah.
She was very specific about that night. Mm. She described dancing with you and you profusely sweating, and that she went on to have bath, possibly.
There's a slight problem with the sweating, because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time, and that was yes, I didn't sweat at the time.
Okay, and of course everybody this medical condition, is putting the blame on the fact that he fought during the Falkland War, and the adrenaline, the impact, fighting and taking part in a war had on him. He stopped sweating momentarily. Okay, and of course, when he came up with this sweating business, everybody really laughed. Sweating. I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, and I didn't sweat at the time. Okay, and so that there were photos taken with him sweating, and people just laughing, and this is the end of the thing. You do understand why this I think the interview was an hour long, something like that, very, very long. I'll send you the link to the interview, and these bits are just a fraction of the stupid, all the stupid things this man managed to come up with. Very entertaining anyway. Thank God we have these people to entertain us every so often, so we can get distracted a little bit. So first of all, let's have a look at the vocabulary. Then we have a look at some grammar. So the phrase "a car crash interview" means A, an interview about a car accident; B, a disastrous or embarrassing interview; a shocking but successful interview; an interview cancelled due to technical failure. Yeah, this was easy. The famous shooting weekend. The famous shooting weekend in British aristocratic circles, because remember that we are moving in different circles. I mean, these people are the aristocracy. They got loads of money, and they can afford a lot of stuff normal people can't. So the interviewer talked about a birthday party, and of course he corrected in a sort of pompous way. Oh no, he said it was a straightforward. I'll get it. So you tell me first of all. Okay. What do you understand with this word? Just a straightforward is put some simple, yes. Simple, easy, clear to understand. If you talk about a person, a straightforward person is honest, very frank, speaks his mind. Okay. So this is the meaning. Easy to understand, simple, and normal for him. Okay. Shooting weekend. A shooting weekend is a weekend spent at a wellness retreat, or a hunting trip for game birds, a royal banquet, or a weekend of target practice with the army. Yeah. Is when they go around shooting birds, then they have them cooked and served on a plate, and they eat them. I hope at least that. I'm against hunting, but this is what they did. Basically, a shooting weekend, you'll go out, of course, they have parks to go which are private, and they can go hunting. A medical condition. Is it a health problem that affects the body or mind, a rule in a hospital, a type of medication, or a doctor's appointment? Yeah. If you talk about your condition, very often people, the first thing they think is your heart. I got my condition means my heart is not too good. Or a medical condition could be absolutely anything, a syndrome, a disease, any problem, even, you need the psychiatrist every week, you have a condition, okay? And now let's go and see if you can remember. Question number 1. Prince Andrew, in those days was still Prince Andrew, admitted that he hosted a birthday party for Ghislaine Maxwell at Sandringham. Very good. It is false because it corrects the girl saying that it was a shooting weekend. He said that the event was a straightforward shooting weekend. Yeah, true. Emily Maitlis accused him directly of being involved in sex trafficking. No, she didn't. It's all, she's very, very careful of, she never accuses him directly. She says the woman has accused him of, but she never, ever, ever accuses him directly. So this is false. Prince Andrew claimed he didn't know Epstein. Very good. He admits that he was a friend of Epstein, but he keeps, if you listen to the interview, if you watch the interview, you see that he says, after I can't remember when, I stopped seeing him, and that's a lie because there are photos of him and Mr. Epstein having a walk together. So we don't know. The prince stated he was at Pizza Express in working with his daughter on the day in question. So the day he was supposed to be with this girl, abusing this girl, he says that he was at Pizza Express, and he remembers it because, well, it's something he doesn't do very often. He said that visiting Pizza Express was something he often did. Okay. And Prince Andrew explained that sweating on the dance floor was due to a medical condition. Yeah. Very good, because it's the opposite. Andrew admitted he could vaguely remember meeting the young woman who accused him. Very good. He denies the fact. There is a famous photo, some of you might have seen it in the newspapers, magazines, and etc., of him with this girl, and she's very young. I think she was 17 and he was a lot younger. he says is a fake. The photo is a fake. The girl had this photo, but he denies that the photo is real. He says that is probably is a fake. It's faked. Okay. And one thing I wanted, well, we can have a look at a couple of things. No, maybe one. Just okay. Okay. This is grammar without putting too fine a point. Okay, let me get this one on it. I'll just get it and I'll go here so we can. Okay. First of all, there is the expression. When you use, usually you use this expression in the negative, without putting or without too fine a point on something, means when you state something with great precision, you quickly, briefly, but you want to be extremely precise, okay? You want to get to the point quickly, okay? And this is an expression. And then is this, you see, this and this. This is grammar, and I got something for you here. Let me see if I can remember what I've done with it. Yeah. I'll move you back out. Okay. Remember that informal style. Okay, let's in English, the important thing, you all remember that when you use such and what and quite, okay, are normally placed before the indefinite article. I think it's one of the first things you study in English. What a lovely day. Such a lovely woman. In Italian, una tale. You don't have this construction in Italian, but in English, what, especially when you put in some emphasis on it, you say, oh, such a lovely woman, such a lovely day, oh, what a nice place. Okay, so you put what and such before the indefinite article. Okay, even rather and quite can be used the same way. For example, it was quite a nice day. It was quite a nice afternoon, quite a nice lesson. Okay. It's rather a small car. The meaning can be, of course, if you say it's rather a small car, it means that you're a bit disappointed. You hoped the car was a bit bigger. Okay. It was quite a nice lesson. There is some surprise behind it. Okay, with all this sort of, they called commenting words because you sort of show some emotion. Okay, and these are very common and very normal. One thing, remember that if you cannot use the indefinite article with such and what, for example, you're talking about people, or you use an uncountable word, for example, such what am I, nice people, okay, you with the plural and the uncountable, you drop the indefinite article, of course. Such nice weather. I know in Italian you can say un tempo, un bel tempo. You can count in a way. You can count. You can say un tempo. Fa un tempo da schifo. In English, remember, can you say due tempi da schifo? So in English, if you can't say due tempi da schifo, you can't say un tempo da schifo. So whether you cannot use any form which can be used to count before weather. Okay, so you can say such nice weather, such, for the plural, such nice people, with all this. If you want to be a bit more formal, you see, you can use so. So can be followed by an adjective and an, and without this, you cannot do this trick, and a singular countable noun. So you need so, adjective, an plus singular countable noun. Is a very formal structure. For example, we have never seen so good a boy. You sound, it's very, very formal. He was so big a man. Okay. You could say such a big man, such a nice boy, perfectly correct, and not as formal as this. Okay. Remember that if there is no article, you cannot use this contraction, okay? So, it's such terrible weather, for example. They are such nice people. You have to go back to your such. And now we come to our Prince Andrew with a two finer point. In formal style, it's possible to use as, how, so, and even to in this spatial structure. And it's used the same as such a nice day. The meaning is the same. Remember that, again, for all these words, if there is no indefinite article, the structure is not possible. So, it was as pleasant a day as I have ever spent. Very formal. You could say, it was such a lovely day. I never had such a lovely day. Something like that. She's too kind a girl, you see, too kind a girl to refuse. The girl is too kind to refuse. Without putting too fine a point, and this is what Prince Andrew is using. Okay, now you have the grammar explanation. Then this is sort of a repetition with more examples. Okay, I'll send this to you so you remember. Is this such a nice coffee? Well, coffee is one of those words you can say either. Remember that coffee technically is uncountable because coffee is coffee. But if you mean in your brain, if you think a cup of coffee, then you can count it. I had a lovely tea. You could say even that, a lovely cup of tea. such a nice cup of coffee. But now coffee, they understand that you mean a cup of coffee, so you can say it. But you can say, such a nice cup of coffee. Okay, that's what you mean. And so this can be left out. Okay, I'll send everything to you. And so this is our Prince Andrew done and dusted. So the man is not. But the good thing is that it provides some entertainment, which is important. Now you can choose, shall we? What's the difference between shall we or let's? Is there a difference? If I say, shall we go? Let's go. There is a little, I mean, yeah. What will I think? Okay, very good. If I say, shall we? I'm asking your opinion. What is as if I had said, what do you think? Shall we go or shall we stay? What do you think? You see, I want to know your opinion. If I say, come on, let's go, means get a move on, let's go. Okay. So yes, it's more sort of, one is more an imperative invitation, while the other one, I want to know whether you think it's a good idea or not. Okay. And so I want your opinion on it. So shall we finish the part 2 of the Old English, so we get rid of it, and then we can do a little bit of the news, maybe. What do you think as a plan? Okay, I'm going to do this, right, and this, and open this one. Okay, I'm getting everything ready.
Old English.
Shush.
The Germanic found.
Okay. And I put you out there. And now I can share. Okay. This is what we did last week. And we had already answered the questions. We just had to do the grammar quizzes, the vocabulary, and just to kind of remind you what the thing is about, we can listen to it very quickly. Oops. Okay.
3. Old English, the Germanic foundation. The Romans first invaded Britain in 55 BCE under Julius Caesar, but it was not until 43 CE under Emperor Claudius that they established control, bringing roads, towns, and the Latin alphabet. When the Roman troops withdrew around 410 CE, Britain was left vulnerable to new waves of settlers, the Angles, Saxons, Jutes, and Frisians. They spoke related West Germanic dialects, which eventually blended into Old English or Anglo-Saxon. Old English was a very different language from modern English. It was a
highly inflected language with nouns, adjectives, and verbs marked for case, gender, and number, more like modern German or Latin. Word order was flexible because endings showed who was doing what to whom. Words like ting, house, man, earth, and water all date from this period. In the 9th century, Viking invasions brought Old Norse, another Germanic language. Many Norse words became part of English, including sky, egg, knife, and even Thursday, Thor's Day. This mixing of languages was the first step toward the rich, varied vocabulary that English is known for today.
Okay. This we can. Okay, so we have already done the true, false. Now we do a little bit of grammar quizzes. Okay, so all these sentences are taken from the script, the recording you just listened to. Just reshuffled a little bit. Okay, so the settlers, blah blah blah, spoke West Germanic dialects, eventually shaped Old English. So which of these ones? A, who, which, whom, whose? Oh, okay. Ooh, it's not scrolling. Okay, very good. Is the settler who? Because it's referred to people, which to things, and whom. In this case, it's the settler who spoke, the ones who spoke, and who's belonging to them. Okay. Number 2. Which verb form or forms would not fit this sentence? Okay. So maybe there is 1 or 2. So by the time the Vikings arrived in the 9th century, Old English, A, must already be well established, was already well established, had already been well established, has already been. Which of these? Has already, by the time the Vikings arrived. So you see, this is a past. So can't be D. Okay, which would not fit. Oh, sorry, it's me. It's me. So definitely this one doesn't fit. Well done. And D doesn't fit. Very good. I do the question and then I forget what I want. So you can say that by the time the Vikings arrived in the 9th century, Old English had already been, definitely. Was already is perfectly fine. So A and D are not good. So A and D are the ones which don't fit. Even has already, because you see, arrived. It's a past tense. So, and is a present. Is this clear? Number D. Remember that has already been is a present tense. Okay. The present perfect is called present perfect. It's un presente perfetto. It's clear. Good. So is A and D, they do not fit. Now we have to complete the sentence here. We have to use became and basically reproduce the same sentence as close as possible. So the sentence, the original one is, when the Roman troops withdrew around 410 CE, Britain was left vulnerable to new waves of settlers. Okay, very good. So Britain became vulnerable. I want the preposition. Can I use to? Very good. Yes. To new waves of settlers. Very good. So vulnerable to new, and we used this one. Britain became vulnerable to new waves of settlers. Very good. Unlike Old English was very different language from modern English. So modern English okay. Is unlike, without from, is unlike, unlike means not similar, and so you don't need from. You say is different from something, is unlike something. So modern English is unlike Old English. Well done. And let me see if I got stuff to tell you. Okay, I think up to here is fine. And now we have the word inflected. The word inflected means in the passage, but when I'm talking about a language and I use the word inflected, marked by changes in form to show grammatical functions, not changing its forms to show different functions in grammar. Strongly influenced by other languages, especially Latin and German, spoken with such a strong accent that it becomes impossible to understand. Inflected is this. Inflected, Italian is inflected. Well, it's not necessarily strongly influenced by other languages because, for example, English is strong. It's been strongly influenced by Latin and German for as regards the vocabulary, for example. But inflected means that I can change a verb, decline it, I change the adjective and the gender and etc. etc. That is inflected. Italian, for example, you say un uomo bello e una donna bella. In English, a nice man and a nice woman. And that's the difference. English is uninflected. Italian is inflected. Okay, is this clear? Gender, numeracy, and etc. Yes. Number 2, the phrase vulnerable to new waves of settlers suggests Britain was preparing to meet an increase in new arrivals, open to attacks or invasions, establishing peaceful relationships with newly arriving settlers, or welcoming of cultural diversity. Yeah. Yes, because vulnerable, if you're vulnerable, the same meaning in Italian and in English, means that you are, you can be reached and touched and injured even, okay? So open to attacks and invasion in the new waves of settlers. The term flexible in the context of word order, okay? So remember, word order can be flexible and not flexible. Okay, you say extremely subject, capable of changing position or structure. Yes, very good. Remember that we will see it in the next lessons. The more a language become uninflected, okay, like English is, Italian is inflected because un uomo bello, una donna bella, io vado, tu vai, egli va, noi andiamo, and etc. While English, for example, if I say walked, I walked, you walked, she walked, and etc., it's all walked. There is no change. If a language becomes uninflected, then remember you need a very strict word order. In Italian, it's not necessary. You don't even need to repeat the subject because you always know who's doing what, because the verb changes every time. In English, you need to repeat the subject, not because it's a grammar rule, but otherwise I can't understand who you're talking about. It's logic more than a grammar rule, okay? And if you try to stick to subject, verb, object, well, at least I know who's doing what to whom, okay? So that's very important. And then we have the word varied. In varied vocabulary is closer in meaning to weird, random, divergent, or diverse. Oh yeah, very good. Yes. Can you give me another word for weird? Two words. Strange, not necessarily crazy, not necessarily odd. Strange and odd. Weird then can be crazy. Oh, she's a bit weird. She's mad. But the meaning is strange. She's a bit weird. She's kind of funny in a negative way, not funny because she could extravagant. She's a bit extravagant. Extravagant also means, for example, you go out and you spend a lot of money. That's being extravagant, a bit extravagant with my money today. Peculiar is better. Peculiar meaning odd, strange, a bit crazy, okay? And then we have the expression, the first step toward, as used in the text. Queer or weird, yes, queer. Queer is strange, odd, weird, peculiar, a bit, peculiar as well. They're all fine. And the last one, The last one is this expression. The first step toward something, okay, was the step word, okay, it's here. This mixing of language was the first step toward the rich, varied vocabulary that English is known for today. Okay, means the beginning of the end, the initial stage of a gradual decline, the beginning of a process of development or a fresh start. Very good. Yeah. The beginning of the end, you have it in Italian as well. Oh, that was the beginning of the end, and then everything collapsed. Okay. A fresh start is when, okay, forget about the past, let's start afresh. But this one is the beginning of a process of development, is the first step toward something different. Okay, well done, very nice. I'm going to send you everything. Let me see, done that. Okay. You can say here, for example, fresh start afresh. You can turn a new leaf. These are all more or less the same. A fresh start, or a fresh start. Okay. Then if you want the verb to start afresh, exactly the same, or you turn a new leaf and you start a new life or something. And I think that's it. Yep. We've done everything, all the stuff I wanted to tell you, I have. Good. Now, if you want, we can do maybe 1 or 2 items of news. Okay, I closed everything. Yep. Why do I call items of news? What's an item? What's an item? Can I refer to a person as an item? Yeah, I'm opening the news while you're thinking. Okay. One. Okay. Okay, you go to the supermarket, and and you buy 5 items. Okay, and so items are pieces of something. Okay, with news, you can say the correct form is an item of news because news is uncountable. You can say a piece of news, but an item of news is more correct. And if I say you little item, refer to a child, I think you can say the same in Italian. I've heard it. Don't you say sei un bell'articolo? You do, don't you? Sagoma, yeah, but also the same in English. You little item. Poor little thing. Oh, poor little item. Even poor little item. Poor little item. Yeah. So you can use the same even in English. Okay, so the news. Listen to the news, correct the mistakes and or omissions, and answer the questions. So remember, first listen. Oh, poor little item. Well, not necessarily with the irony. You poor little item. No, you can always be. You can still be sorry, as like oh, poverino, something like that. Okay, first listen and start underlining, and then okay.
BBC News. The UN says it suspended operations at a key border crossing between Afghanistan and Iran. It says Taliban government restrictions on Afghan women working there are creating operational challenges.
Okay, I've made quite a few mistakes. I'll go back. Can you, is it too loud? Okay, I'm turning it down a bit. Right. Okay. Where are you?
At a key border crossing. BBC News. The UN says it suspended operations at a key border crossing between.
Okay. So the first one is the, and then I'll ask you what this is. Okay. Are you sure is the EU? Listen to it again.
BBC News. The UN says it suspended
The UN. So this one we know is wrong. UN. Remember that in Italian you say ONU. In English is only UN. United Nations. Okay. Says. Okay. Sorry.
BBC News. The UN says it suspended operations at a key.
This is difficult. This evening I'm gonna kill you. Very good. So says, remember. It, because it's referring to itself. Because says, I suspended operation and etc. So says in direct speech, it suspended. Let's get rid of this and even the off. Okay, so you see, this is the UN says, direct speech, I suspended or we suspended operation. So the UN says it suspended operations.
BBC News. The UN says it suspended operations at a key border crossing between Afghanistan.
Very good. So between Afghanistan. Very good.
At a key border crossing between Afghanistan and Iran. It says Taliban government restrictions on Afghan women work.
Very good. So it's not over, but on.
says Taliban government restrictions on Afghan women working there are creating operational challenge.
Working very good. There. Are creating what?
And working there are creating operational challenges.
Very good. You need an adjective. And so it must be operational challenges. Yeah. Okay. I think I have. Yes. Oh, yes. Let's go down to this one. It's quite interesting. Homophones of, you remember that here I use this word. Do you know what this is? I'm not pronouncing it for you. Do you know what it is? Yeah, female, a female sheep. Okay. Okay. So homophones of this word include this one. This one is, for example, in pagodas, the edge of the roof which sticks out, it's this. B, the letter of the alphabet. This one, a type of tree. You see them in cemeteries, I tassi in Italian. They have red berries, which are poisonous. And this one is the second person pronoun, and this one the day before a holiday. So, yeah. Can you find the homophones for this word? B is you. Definitely B, because this one is a U. Okay. D, definitely you. Okay. There is another one. Yes, someone is saying C. U, the type of tree. So this is you, the female sheep. U, the letter of the alphabet. U. When you text messages, very often instead of writing you just write this. If I write, for example, can you read it? Do you know what this is? See you later. See you later. Very good. So this one is you. And how do you pronounce? Well, you know how to pronounce this. Eve. And this one is identical. Eve. The same. So Eve and Eve are homophones, and you are homophones. Okay, now we can go back up. And, true, false, if you can remember what there was in the news. True or false, the UN has stopped working at the border crossing between Afghanistan and Iran. Yes, it is true. And the reason for the suspension was due to security threats for armed groups. Very good. It is false. And the last one, restriction on Afghan women have made it difficult for the UN to continue operations. It is true. And just a couple of questions on vocabulary. Do you know what a key border crossing? Any line that separates geographic areas, a crucially important transit checkpoint, no man's land, or a barrier put across a road by customs officers. Yeah, because key is crucially important, and the border crossing is the checkpoint. It's not a barrier put across. This one is simply border, and no man's land has nothing to do with it. And then we had the operational challenges. Do you think some irritating extra tasks to manage? Very good. Yeah. Is issues that can hinder. Hinder means you put an obstacle, and so you make something difficult. Yes. Hinder an organization's ability to achieve its objectives. Very good. And now the pronunciation. This is quite. I introduced this new quiz to the news because I think sometimes pronunciation helps you a lot to understand other people and when you speak English. So the stress in the word ... falls on the first, the second, or the third, or the last. I forgot syllable. The first syllable, second syllable. What do you think? Try to repeat it to yourself and tell me. Yep. Which one? I can't see you. Wait, is that me not being able to see you? Okay, I got it now. I couldn't see your answers. B, D. On this one, Afghanistan, it's here. So it's on the second one. It's on the Afghanistan. So it's B. Homophones of key include this one, A, dock or harbor, B, a signal or prompt, this one, a line of people waiting for something, or the 11th letter of the alphabet. Okay, so A, definitely. Key. I left my key on the key. Why not? And this one is Q, so nothing to do. This one is, so I'll go callous. Q goes with Q. This one is K, and this one is key goes with key. Okay, the blue goes with the blue. All right, so it's this is K. So this is pronounced K, so it's sort of all alone. K. So let me make it green. Okay. So key goes with A, key. The others are different because this one is Q, as in Q, or if you want as in Q in the letter, but definitely they're different. This one we have already done it. And grammar quiz. The grammar quiz, let's see. The UN decided to stop its work because operations will become, had become, or remaining. Yeah. Is the best one. Yeah, decided. You could get away with B, but the best one is C. This one, it's sort of, I'll put it like that, because it decided to stop its work because operations were difficult, maybe. Let's keep things in the past, okay? So had become difficult is the best one. Afghan women, blah, 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 to work freely at the border were not allowing, didn't allow, had not allowed, were not allowed. Yeah. Very good. Shall we do this, just this bit, and see what happens? We still have 5 minutes. So first listen. Listen to nothing.
Creating operational, Afghan women working there are creating operational challenges. The former US President George W. Bush says the death of his former Vice President Dick Cheney is a loss to the nation. Mr. Cheney served during the 2001 attacks on New York and Washington and was seen as the main architect of the war on terror that followed.
Okay, I'll repeat it and stop.
Operational challenges. The former US President George W. Bush.
Very good. So, US President. Okay, where are you?
The former US President George W. Bush says the death of his former vice.
Very good. Death of his former vice president.
Of his former Vice President Dick Cheney is a loss to the nation.
Very good. Yes, a loss to the nation.
Cheney is a loss to the nation. Mr. Cheney served during the 2001 attacks on New York and Washington.
Very good. So 2001 attacks on, because attacks on
Mr. Cheney served during the 2001 attacks on New York and Washington and was seen as the main architect of the war on terror that followed.
Very good. It's exactly of the war on terror. Okay, so the main architect of the war on terror that followed, because then they started this sort of war against terrorism. Okay, quickly. Yes, one more question. George W. Bush described Dick Cheney death as a personal national loss. True, very good. Someone has already done it. And Cheney served as vice president under no Barack Obama, no, definitely. And retired just before, no, very good. Okay, well, what you can do, I'm going to send you all the notes. You can carry on doing all this by yourself. I always give you the, how do you call it? I always give you the key so you can self-correct. If you have any query or something you can't understand, just either you write to me or you ask me during the next lesson. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I hope. Oh yes. Okay, Federica. I'll write to you. Okay, and I'll send you all the past lessons and etc. Okay. Right. Have a lovely evening, and I'll see you next Thursday. And okay, I'm done. Okay.
Thank you. Lovely night to you.
Good night.
Thank you, Giovanni. Thank you very much. Bye. Good night.
Bye.
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 I'm just copying.